around the world, we've got you covered. On air, online, delivering balanced news and unbiased analysis. Today, 95.1 FM.
Today, 95.1 FM. Port Harcourt. News update.
Hello and good afternoon. Here's the business news on Today 95.1 FM. I am Faustina Oputu. The Senior Staff Association of Statutory Corporations and Government-Owned Companies has urged the federal government to urgently revisit the reform of the Nigerian Postal Service (NIPOST) and settle outstanding wage awards, promotion arrears and other entitlements owed to Nigerian workers. The association disclosed this in a communique signed by its president and acting secretary Kayode Alakija and Akin Okudero. This comes after the association's National Executive Council meeting held over the weekend in Akwa Ibom State. In its resolution, the association asked the federal government to revisit its approach to reforming NIPOST by allocating intervention funds to upgrade facilities, logistics and technology to boost operational efficiency and service delivery. The association also called for a review of the over 50 revenue deduction policy introduced by the Federal Ministry of Finance, describing it as a major obstacle to effective service delivery by government agencies. The Chairman, Presidential Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms Committee, Taiwo Oyedele, said from 1st January 2026 that the new tax laws will provide many reliefs and exemptions for low-income earners, average taxpayers and small businesses. In an update on his X handle yesterday, Oyedele noted that small businesses, including individuals earning the national minimum wage or less, and those earning annual gross income of up to 1,200,000 naira will benefit from the tax relief. The chairman also revealed that there will also be reduced payee tax for those earning annual gross income of up to 20 million naira, and that gifts will also be exempt from being taxed. The Center for the Promotion of Private Enterprise said that the recent threat by the United States of America President Donald Trump of a possible military invasion over alleged Christian genocide will weaken investors' confidence and the naira against the dollar. The chief executive officer of CPPE, Mood Yusuf, disclosed this in a statement yesterday. Recall that Trump recently threatened military action if the Nigerian government fails to tackle alleged Christian killings in the country. Trump's threat has received mixed reactions from Nigerians, including the presidency. Reacting, CPPE said Trump's comment carries far-reaching implications for the Nigerian economy. The center said the statement risks undermining Nigeria's image as a stable investment destination. On the foreign scene, online retail giant Shein says it has banned the sale of all sex dolls on its platform around the world after being accused of displaying products with a childlike appearance on its website. The French consumer watchdog first raised concerns over the description and categorization of the dolls, saying it left little doubt as to the child pornography nature of the content. The company yesterday said that it has permanently banned all seller accounts linked to illegal or non-compliant sex doll products and will tighten controls across its global platform. Shein also said it has temporarily removed its adult products category as a precaution. Still on the foreign scene, OpenAI has signed a $38 billion contract with Amazon to access its cloud computing infrastructure as the startup continues its run of major partnerships to secure computing power. The ChatGPT maker has signed deals worth more than $1 trillion with Oracle, Broadcom, AMD, and chip-making giant NVIDIA, and its latest deal reduces its reliance on Microsoft. As part of the 7-year agreement, OpenAI will gain access to NVIDIA graphics processor to train its artificial intelligence models. The deal follows a sweeping restructure of OpenAI last week, which saw it convert away from being a non-profit and changed its relationship with Microsoft to give OpenAI more operational and financial freedom. The deal reflects the massive demand for computer power coming from the growing interest in AI and OpenAI's rush to secure the power it needs. And that's the business news on Today 95.1 FM. Good afternoon and thank you for listening. I am Faustina Oputu.
From the streets of Lagos to the city of Abuja and all the way to London, the Chisholm Tour has been making waves. And now, he is bringing the same unforgettable experience to the Garden City, Port Harcourt. Get ready for a night of laughter and music. It's MC Monica live in Port Harcourt. Who is Chisholm Tour? Comedy by K.O. Baba, Abari.com, MC Royal, Prof. Mani, GSN, Fond Comedian, and many more. Music by Paper Corleone, G3 Miami, and lots more. Date is Sunday, November 9th, 2025 at LA Kings Event Center, Port Harcourt. Doors open at 6 p.m. and showtime 7 p.m. Tickets regular 10K, VIP 30K, gold table 2 million naira, and sponsorship table 3 million naira. Get your tickets online at tellerafricatickets.com or call 0816-411-2187 for more info and sponsorship. MC Monica live in Port Harcourt is powered by Chima Akuma Foundation, supported by Boo Portland Hotel, Giants Incorporated, Sunville Developers, the Frankfurt Global, and Talkaholic Unlimited. Be the partner. Today FM.
Say no to the ordinary. Embrace the extraordinary, because we are the voice of the people. Voice of the people. Today, 95.1 FM.
Today, 95.1 FM.
What in the happen,
They say wahala need
now this one wahala be like bicycle. They just
Waiting the happen. Now for today 95.1 FM, 5 p.m. Monday to Friday, Bomkwem. Now here you go here, waiting the happen for Niger and Obodo the world. Now that time where we they bring you Ogbonga to them, we'll go shock you. You go wonder say
country don't run. It goes their blood. They chapa. They say this one. No worry. When time I reach, I'll say I want to make I see where they go.
Homeland is homeland.
Me, I go open gate for them. I me go be get man at that time for airport.
Waiting the happen. Make you know Miss Mazi Ike God Ike Machuku and MC Kuro for waiting the happen. You go enjoy yourself. Not forget to say woman they chop our recharge card woto. I don't tell you say this place na education center. As you sit down here with us from Monday to Friday, you go enjoy waiting the happen. Waiting the happen. Make you know miss them at all.
Have you ever been in a situation where you had to pay a fine for an indictment? Then you later found out that there was an already established law to protect you from that penalty. Have you ever been denied a position because of your gender or disability? Have you ever been discriminated, treated unfairly, assaulted or cheated by your landlord, employer, tax collectors, bank, family, business partners, and the police? What if the breach between you and justice is just the right knowledge? I'm sure you've heard that knowledge is power. Join us every Saturday, 10 to 10:30 a.m. on Today 95.1 FM for the program The Law Today, to get acquainted with your legal rights and beneficial interests as a citizen of Nigeria. The Law Today, 10 to 10:30 a.m. every Saturday, is brought to you by Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
Education never ends, and we believe it starts even way earlier than most of us think. On Andre Gorgie, every Tuesday, 1 to 2 p.m., we unravel these various building blocks and its challenges that make you and I better versions of ourselves. Andre Gorgie on Today 95.1 FM.
It is a beautiful, beautiful Tuesday afternoon, and it is the 4th day of November
2025.
Yeah, an amazing day. It's one that you've never seen in your life before.
A 4th of November in 2025.
Exactly. Yeah, because if you say the 4th of November, you must have seen a lot of 4th of November in your Novembers in your life.
A 4th of November, a Tuesday.
Okay,
of
that's
2025.
another thing. That's another thing. Maybe you haven't seen a 4th of November that is a Tuesday in your life. Maybe you've never. Maybe you have. For some people, I don't know. Depending on how many years you are at the moment, how old you are at the moment. If you're old enough, you must have seen November 4th. That is a Tuesday.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, well, you haven't. But this particular one, you haven't seen it before. 2025, November 4, you haven't experienced it before.
You know what this brings to mind, Faustina? That every day should be so special. I mean, treat it special because it's never been before.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, Wally came in with the lines, and then I think the lines are flowing.
Okay. Wally's line is, I mean, we have to say it so nobody takes it away from him. A word is enough for the wise because two words are not enough for the unwise. Lines. Anyways, I mean, this is Andra Goji, and we're beginning with, lines. All right, welcome to Andra Goji on Today 95.1 FM, Voice of the People. It's 13 minutes past 1 p.m. this lovely Tuesday afternoon. My name is Faustina Uputu.
I am Queen Chima.
Okay, so the issue, I mean, one word that recently has caused quite a lot of conversation would be the word forgery. You remember the lawmaker who was embroiled in, what's the minister now? Can't remember. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I think the minister, the one from Enugu State, Naji, that's the minister of, what's going on with both of us?
Okay.
We'll tell you shortly. Uche Naji.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's because I didn't want to, it just came to mind, because when you mentioned the word forgery, you want to go back in time and think about, forgery.
Yeah. He served as the Federal Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology.
Beautiful.
From August 6, 2023 to August 6, 2025.
Beautiful. So he was at the center of a forgery issue, and then it led to what happened. He resigned his appointment and all of those. And during that period, I remember the conversations that were ongoing. The issue of forgery, it's not just about him. It happens if you dig deep. I mean, you would definitely uncover this particular issue with some other people as well. So you go to, let's say, the civil service entirely. And you do your findings, do your due diligence, you would discover that some people have forged some things, some certificates. And if you want to go into politics, you want to look at politicians entirely, if you dig deep, you would discover that some have forged certificates and all of those. And for today, we're not going to look at politicians, but we're going to the tertiary institution, and there is that transition between the tertiary institution and, of course, getting into the NYSC. And recently, JAM has been saying things, talking about, I think there is a shift of date for admission to November 17 and all of those that happened. They said that. That period when they said that, they also talked about the fact that they have 15,000 candidates forged admission letters for NYSC mobilization. And
15,000?
Yes, 15,000. So let's see this. The Nation newspaper, yes. I mean, you can see that. You can find that in some of the national dailies, not just the Nation newspaper. But it says, Oyedele, 15,000 candidates forged admission letters for NYSC mobilization. So you want to just look at all of those. And it has the riders, 17 deputy VCs, deputy registrars, JAMB workers in ICPC custody. Another one here is board to report 6 schools over irregular UTME registration, extends deadline for public universities. Now he says the registrar of the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, Professor Ishak Oloyede, has said the agency uncovered 15,000 candidates who forged their admission letters to be eligible for the National Youth Service Corps, NYSC. The registrar said the board has started the prosecution of the perpetrators for alleged forgery. Now, Idele spoke yesterday during his this year's Batch C pre-mobilization workshop organized by NYSC in Abuja. Now, the registrar said 17 deputy vice chancellors, DVCs, deputy registrars, including 4 JAMB workers, are in the custody of the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, over the alleged forgery. Now, he said, I mean, this part, I have to just read it out for you to hear. I quote, he said, one day I ran to your predecessor. Now, this is referring to the DG of NYSC, his predecessor, because I couldn't believe that 15,000 candidates forged admission letters. And you're wondering, he says, as I speak with you, some deputy registrars are being tried by the ICPC, some deputy vice chancellors, not less than 17, including 4 JAMB staff members, are in prison custody. We took them to the ICPC. Those who want to go to jail should do so knowingly, not by accident. And then, okay, let me get to... So the NYSC's Director General, Brigadier General Olakunle Nafiu, urged stakeholders not to allow the mobilization process to suffer disrepute. Now, when you hear things like this, you want to ask questions as to why 15,000, why they succeeded, all right? I mean, first question first would be, why would anybody want to do that? What's the intention? Okay, you might say, well, they just want to get onto the NYSC, serve, and be done with it. But how are they successful in this? 15,000 of them. How were they successful in this? Got through till the point that they were successful, and now they are being caught. So we're talking numbers now, 15,000. Does that not tell a lot about the lapses in our education system? I mean, the transition process and all of those. You're forging admission letters just so you can go for service.
It's crazy. We're not talking about 1,000, 2,000, 3, 4, 15,000 of these people forged the admission letters just to be eligible for the National Youth Service Corps. And it brings my mind back to something that happened when I served in camp. There was a case like this. I think it was uncovered right there in camp. I don't know how the process is. I think it had gone through a rigorous process until we heard that there's a certain man that they had to send back home, or they sent to the to regulatory authorities because he had forged the certificate. Then there was also the case of an age limit. There were some people whose ages were discovered, and they said they had hit the limit for the National Youth Service Corps, and so they had discrepancies in their ages and all. So we were talking about it there in camp and asking ourselves, why would people want to do this? So people were jokingly saying, for 19,800, then I think it was Yes, I think it was 1908 when I served. Yeah, for 19,800 now. You think it's easy to? You think it's easy to make a living in this country? So we were just having that conversation as core members. I miss other things that happened in camps, sexual issues and all of that. But that's on the other side. So you think it's easy to get 19,800 just on the street? You pick it. I mean, a year. So, but there I sat and I was wondering in my own mind that I have to forge a certificate for 19.8. That was me thinking, really. That's me, like I said. So, but coming to 2025, you want to begin to ask a lot of questions, like why would this want to happen? So is it because of the certificate, the NYSC certificate? You're asking that one. Then you're also looking at these institutions that the certificates were forged from. Or on behalf, on their behalf, because if the institution did not give you that admission letter, it means that you never had it, right? So, these lapses, like you mentioned, in our education sector, where people can just get papers. Some people say, "I know be paper." I mean, you heard people say it's just paper. They will know what to do about it. Can just get papers and then use as a sort of identification or a process for a requirement for something as important as a scheme, as a National Youth Service. It becomes a call for concern. And for some people, you want to begin to trace these lapses to secondary schools, to primary schools. People begin to talk about examination malpractices and how individuals grow from these levels to tertiary institutions to understand what it means or what it should be like to forge certificates. And some people would now take you through from now and say, hey, that's why people like this will come and forge the certificates and become political leaders tomorrow. I mean, so it's a whole chain of discourse and it's a call for concern.
Absolutely. So reminds me also of when I was in school. So we used to talk about some students who were non-academic students. Yes. So now,
by non-academic students, you mean?
Just wait.
Okay.
So by non-academic students, so there were some. I passed through the pre-degree into the main institution, into the main course.
Okay.
And so there were the people, certificates, uniforms. That's what we call it. So there were people who would come for certificate program 1 year, all right? So you have to pass, all right? You have to get to a certain level score before you can be admitted into the first year. So there were those who were there and they couldn't make it past the certificates, all right? So now those of them, they wouldn't want to go back home. Right, some of them they didn't want to go back home.
Okay.
And then some, they were in school, they kept trying. Some kept trying. For others, maybe they tried again and it didn't work. So probably they tried like twice, it didn't work. And all of that time, they've been telling their parents that, oh, I'm in school, so they could get, whatever it is they were getting. And for some, well, fine girl and fine boy like me, I cannot go back home and tell them that I failed out of school. And so they kept being in the school environment. They kept coming to school, all right? Some kept coming to class. I mean, I would not know now. I wouldn't know if you made it past the certificate or not.
Exactly.
So some kept coming. Some, while they were coming, they were trying. Others, well, they tried, and then at some point they stopped. So those ones who would want to say that, well, who said, I cannot go back home. This would mean that I'm a failure. So they kept doing everything, or almost everything, not everything. They kept doing everything or almost everything that a student will do in the school environment and outside the school environment as well, until it was time to graduate. You're not in school. How do you graduate? Well, you just graduate yourself, right? And if you graduate yourself, after graduation, there is the next phase, which is the NYSC that you're supposed to serve your nation, all right? And for you to be able to do something about the NYSC, and because you've been lying all the years, you would want to lie another one, all right, to cover up the lies that you've told. And so you would want to go the extra mile to get to this point where you would forge admission letter, all right, that you were admitted. So you were eligible for the next phase of your life. So for those ones, non-academic students, yeah, they did that, or they would be in this kind of situation, the ones that are prone to do things like this. So they would basically do that the entire world to tell their family that, well, this is me. I've graduated and now I'm going for service. I'm serving, or I've served. But you want to look at how they got successful with this, and you want to look at what gave them the impetus. That's another thing, because it's a big deal. You could be caught, but you want to look at the impetus. What gave them the impetus that you can wake up one morning and you tell yourself that is an admission letter that you want to forge so you can get on to the next phase of your life?
It's concerning, and this forgery in the education system. One question that you may want to ask is: some of our, not supposed, some of our structures. I mean, all thanks and kudos to JAMB, rather the NYSC, for finding this out, and I am thinking that it should have been alongside collaborating with these institutions. I mean, because if you find out a certificate that probably looks fake, or however they find it out, because I know that institutions have like their sites where they upload, because of technology, where they upload names of students that were admitted, and it's a whole process. You have to go through what they call verification process, right, before you can get to the next stage of your NYC. Your school has to issue some papers to you, and then I think names are sent or something. Then you get into the next phase where you have to also do a verification with the NYC before you have to serve. So all of this, if people could smartly, however you want to define the smartness, could go through these phases and up until the last phase before they are caught. It then goes to talk about the lapses and how porous some of these structures are, even if they are technologically inclined, that it cannot spot immediately before this process is almost concluded. And this person is now, they're now nabbed and said, 15,000 of these people did a forgery situation. So how did they go through from the verification process up until uploading, certificates to NYC verifying them, until it's like just getting to the last lap before this was discovered? So you begin to ask how. So it's too open, and it may just be a call for concern for some people. And then again, why would people want to do this? I think that's a big question. What picture have you painted of education, of NYC, of certificates in the country that make people want to almost do anything to get it?
You know, that question you just asked now, I could get into the head of someone who would call and say that, well, that's because they've heard of things like this. Right? They've heard people who do it and got away with it, and that's the reason they felt like, well, they can do it too. They can do it and go scot-free. It's really concerning. It is concerning, and I know people want to talk about now that's why it started. Now that's the reason we have certain people at high levels. And that's why we have certain politicians who would want to forge their certificates. This is where it begins. This is really where it begins. Well, JAMB being the one to do this, get to find out this, and is in collaboration with the NYSC, it's beginning to concern a lot of people. Well, maybe you would have wanted the NYSC to be able to verify from the beginning. So before you get into it, let's verify your certificate. Let's verify every document that you submit or you have submitted to be able to qualify for mobilization for the NYSC. But anyway, we'll go on a commercial break. When we come back, we'll open up the phone lines and have you join the conversation as we ask the questions, really, because there are too many questions to ask. What feels this sort of forgery. I mean, and to what end? All right, it is Andra Gorgi on Today 95.1 FM, Voice of the People. Stay with us.
Say no to the ordinary. Embrace the extraordinary, because we are the voice of the people. Voice of the people. Today, 95.1 FM.
Today, 95.1 FM.
This is a public announcement from the River State Ministry of Youth Development. Rivers youth are urged to take advantage of the ongoing Nigerian Army 90 regular recruit intake. This is your chance to serve the nation, build a career, and secure your future. Application closes November 14th, 2025. Application is free of charge. Do not pay anyone. Basic requirements include Nigerian citizenship, NIN and BVN. 5 credits including English and mathematics, ages 18 to 22 and 18 to 26 for tradesmen and women, and minimum height of 1.65 meters for women and 1.68 meters for men. Applicants must not possess higher qualifications such as HND or BSc. To apply, visit the official recruitment portal www.recruitment.army.nil.ng or visit the River State Ministry of Youth Development, Block C, 7th floor, State Secretariat Complex, Port Harcourt for guidance. The River State government has made full provision of logistics to support all shortlisted Rivers youth throughout the recruitment process. Parents, guardians, traditional rulers, and community youth leaders are engaged to mobilize and guide our youth to take advantage of this rare opportunity. Remember, enlisting in the Nigerian Army is not just a career, it is a call to service, discipline, and patriotism. Signed, Rohoma Chinedu KJ, Permanent Secretary, River State Ministry of Youth Development.
95.1 FM, Voice of the People.
And we're back.
Welcome back to Andra Gorgi on Today 95.1 FM, Voice of the People. So we're having a conversation about what the Registrar of JAMB has said, that the agency, uncovered 15,000 candidates who forged their admission letters to be eligible for the national service organized by the National Youth Service Corps, NYSC. And you want to ask questions, plenty of questions, okay. JAMB, I mean, before you get into the university, you deal with JAMB, all right? And then after writing the JAMB, they would issue you the letter. And after then, you'd wonder, okay, so what business do you have with JAMB again? After graduation, you'd want to get to the next phase, which is you're going to be dealing with the NYSC, whatever it is that you have to do at that point. But getting to the point where, JAMB is now uncovering fake admission letters, it goes to show a lot that maybe necessary procedures or necessary checks at every point in time were not really necessarily carried out.
Absolutely.
Right? Maybe attention wasn't really paid, or, well, they paid attention, and that's the reason we're uncovering this. And that's fine. It's fine that at the end of the day, this is uncovered. And so we'll look at the lapses, the possible lapses that could have led to this. So going forward, would be more strict with verification exercises. So when you present a paper, a certificate, that certificate would have to be seen by all relevant agencies, or the agency that has provided or that has given you that certificate, to be sure that, well, this is exactly what we gave you.
Absolutely. But what this uncovering by JAMB, like you asked, if the phase of NYSC gets straight into, I mean, you're presenting a certificate to the NYSC for verification.
More like, this is what JAMB gave me.
Yes.
Take
yes.
NYSC. Look at it.
And I am supposed to be serving. So, how did JAM get to come about this? It's a lot of questions. I mean, I think it should be some form of synergy between the NYC and JAM, because maybe there is the space where NYC also sends some of these admission letters or these processes to JAM, or JAM can have access. But it's a welcome development, because every time we talk about collaboration and synergy between agencies, and this is how certain things can be curbed, like forgery. This is what we're talking about, forgery. Apart from this collaboration, we're seeing that an effective use of power goes on, then some of the issues we have in the country would just be reduced. But 15,000, that's quite a number. That's quite a number for a country. And you want to ask questions about our education system. How important is this to a lot of people? Because we're looking at forgery at this stage, and then you look at forgery going forward in a number of aspects. It's questionable.
All right, so you can join the conversation. It's Andra Goji on Today 95.1 FM. Forgery like this, I mean, you'd want to ask the question, what fuels it, and how do you think it can be curbed? Do you think that, collaboration between agencies, relevant agencies, when it comes to the issue of certificates, when agencies collaborate, we'll be able to curb it? Or there are other things that we can do as a people to curb the issue of forgery in Nigeria. All right, you can dial in, or you can send a message, a regular text message, or you can send it via WhatsApp as well. A number for you to call is 0810-9510-951. 0810-9510-951, or you can send a message to 0701-933-9962. 0701-933-9962. That's the number for you to send your messages. Or you can drop a comment on Facebook Today 95.1 FM, on X at Today FM 951. Let's get to hear from you. I mean, hearing this, do you have questions? I mean, do you have like mind-boggling questions regarding this particular issue? You want to ask questions, why 15,000? Why forgery? Why would anybody forge admission letter so they can serve? Is it because of the money, because there's no employment, and now you just want to, maybe the non-academic students, this is their way of just trying to get a piece of the national cake. Let me just forge my way through, so when I start serving, now it's 77,000.
Yeah, 77,000.
So maybe it's just a way to get the 77,000 there. But let's get to hear from you. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, thank you for joining us.
I've heard the program, what they are saying, but for me, I don't know why people are doing that kind of. If it is true, because this country now, you cannot predict.
So you don't think people can forge admission letters so they can serve?
No, they can forge now, but who is the person that is saying the truth? Because everybody is lying in this country as we speak.
Everybody,
including you.
Including me, yes.
Yeah.
Including me, everybody is lying.
Everybody is lying.
The political this thing that they are lying up and down. Why will the people that even let us say that the people that is in government, that they are forging certificates up and down. What will you say about that?
Some people in government, you can say that. I mean, so you don't.
Some people. Allegedly,
I do not. You can say some people to be on the safe side, because you said everybody is lying. That's general.
In Nigeria is not the Nigeria we know before again. So nobody is trusting anybody again.
Okay, so you're doubting this?
Yes, now.
Wow. Are you doubting the agency that has said this, or you're just doubting that anybody can?
Is it not the same man that was crying? That they did not tell students to write WAEC in the night. Is it not the same person?
So the same person, because he cried at that point in time, he cannot say that they've uncovered.
Faustina, let me call these things. I beg. Everybody, this thing is not something that somebody will do because the country is not looking, it's not balancing. People are not saying the truth. That's all.
Okay.
All right.
You said people, including you.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon.
You see, the bottleneck and corruption in the institutions is the cause of this thing. I talking to you here.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter, she graduates in this decade, Federal Poly.
Okay.
The first problem is the missing script.
All right.
I have to go there. I say, this script, is it not human being collecting it? From which point to which point the script is missing? They say I should come back after 2 weeks.
Okay.
I came back after 2 weeks. They said they have not seen it. I went there that the last day I went there, I say, if this script is not found, all the school fees I paid will be refunded to me.
Wow.
So after they found the script.
Oh, they found it?
Yes. And where they are looking for it, my sister, it's in the same office. I say, me, I have a good training part in searching. Give me 1 hour. Let me search for this thing here. They found the script. The next thing, they say, project. Somebody did not sign. Somebody did not supervise. As I'm talking to you now, she's supposed to be in service now, but she has not because of project. Either somebody did not sign or somebody that's supposed to supervise did not come. I don't understand. You see all these things, we are just causing a big problem for ourselves. Everywhere is infected with corruption. If corruption is in the institution where the future leader are being trained, where is the future of that country is not bleak? If somebody say the country is a disgraced country, they say, why did they say so? The bottleneck are just too much. You know, that's exactly when you sit for SAT, that means standard aptitude test. That's all. From UTME to this, all those things doesn't need not comfort.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
As I'm now, she's still at home, waiting for somebody to supervise project, somebody to stamp, somebody did not sign. And what is all those things? Is money.
All right, thank you so much for joining the conversation. Well, at least she did not forge admission letter.
Yes.
Yeah, she's in the institution. Okay. But in this case, it's the admission letter that was forged. And they've uncovered 15,000 candidates that forged admission letters. And you would want to ask, why would anyone forge admission letter? Okay, is it because, well, there is corruption everywhere that they forged it? Or, I mean, there could be other reasons in your mind why a student would or a person would, forge admission letter just to be mobilized to serve. We've mentioned the issue of, okay, maybe just so that they can be entitled to the Alawi.
Allowance.
Yes, Alawi. Be entitled to the Alawi. And maybe because the money has been raised, that has been increased, we just want to have more people have a piece of the national cake. And that's the reason you're not a student, all right? You were not... You didn't get into the school system.
Yes, because of course you did not see these people go through a 4-year course or 5-year, depending on the number of years. It's just NYC's portal is up, and they've been working on it on the admission letter or something, and the next thing they upload and are supposed to be serving.
Because and maybe they did. Maybe they were attending classes or something.
Oh. That's all the non-academic students you mentioned.
Maybe they did, they were attending classes, hoping that at some point they will get into the system.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, they didn't get into the system. And so they figured like, I shouldn't have my years wasted just like that. Let me gain something, or let me get something. And what comes to mind at that point is just, let me forge. Let me try and make myself eligible for
youth
NYSC.
service.
Exactly.
Well, let's get your thoughts. What do you think about this? What could be responsible for this sort of forgery in the education sector? JAMB, admission letters forged and used for National Youth Service verification to, go for the youth service. What do you think? And you may want to extensively look at how this affects Nigeria, because there have been cases of forgery here and there. When it comes to politicians, sometimes it's really loud. So, why would a politician have a forged certificate? But now these are young people. Yes, these are young people. These are people who want to just get into the National Youth Service, whether it's to get the alawi or for the purpose of getting the certificate. How? When you didn't go through the process necessary for starting off a course and wrapping it up for 4 years or 5 years, 6, whatever, going through that process and becoming a graduate before you can get verified and serve. What do you think about this? Good afternoon.
Yes, Faustina, I call back again. I have a son that wanted to go to youth service. And now, the boy was waiting. And he later tell me that his name has come out for the Senate, that they placed his name for the Senate to go and pay for the NYSC. How did you forge this certificate to start to be, to want to go to NYSC? How did you forge it? I want to ask that question.
How do you forge the admission letter?
Yes, admission letter to we want to serve as a core member.
I haven't forged before, so I wouldn't know how it's forged.
Eh?
I haven't forged before, so I wouldn't know how it's done.
Okay, how did it go? Like diligently, as you want to maybe walk it to your NYS, you want to go to NYS. How did it work?
You present your admission letter that the school has given you, or JAMB has given you, and every other thing that you require from the school, and you submit it. That's it. So in that process, maybe they checked the papers and some were forged.
From which end now?
From what end? How?
Where the forgery is coming from, that's where I'm trying to look at. Because now, the school will base out your name for the NYSC, does so.
Mm-hmm.
Then, after then, what is the next thing?
So what if these people that have been uncovered, they maneuvered the entire process?
I don't.
So it's not. So do you think this is not possible? Do you think this is?
It's the same thing I was telling you that time. It's possible, but the way they will go about it. That's one I'm doing, because since then my son was waiting. He was still waiting for this name to come out before their badge. They will start their own badge to go to his NYSC. So I don't really know how they. And it can be possible.
Okay.
Because the country is not balanced. There's this person I told you before.
All right, let's let you go so we attend to someone else. Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yeah, go on, please.
This is Honorable Free Selfish.
Go on.
As you see me here, I like equity. If they want to investigate, not they just map out one particular person, they start to investigate. The National Assembly, all of them should be online. If I call you, you bring your credential, let me scrutinize you. Know how many of them that did not forge their certificate and the order. Is it because maybe this man...
Is that where you want to begin from, or you want to begin from the foundational level?
Which of the
Do you want to begin from the top?
Yes, now. Leadership, you show by example. Our leader,
so
number one man.
How did you get to that point if you didn't begin from somewhere?
Okay, are you telling me now that this man now from Southeast of where is he the first person? He learned it from somebody who did this, who forged this certificate for him.
So why do you think someone forged admission letter so they can qualify for NYSC?
Because in Nigeria, before you see transparent things in Nigeria, most of us that always like to do things the way according. It's not like that. Even in filling station, you see somebody who just from the other side, you maneuver, you buy, you go. So why wouldn't you?
So there is no reason. We just
there is no to me.
Some people
Everybody
just want to do it.
Everybody except me.
No, when you say everybody, you are included in the everybody.
I no get university. I no go university.
It doesn't mean now you could have forged anything else. Chris, thank you. When you say everybody, you cannot exclude yourself. You are among, okay? If you did not forge,
you can forge.
If you did not forge admission letter or any other thing, admission letter, you could have forged any other thing. So you are among. When you say everybody, include yourself. If you're not including yourself, it then means it's not everybody. All right, keep your calls coming in, messages coming in as well. You're listening to Andra Goji on Today 95.1 FM, Voice of the People. Conversation about JAMB uncovering 15,000 forgery cases of admission letters just so they could qualify for NYSC mobilization. And we're just trying to wrap our heads around it. How does it work? Why would people want to do this? And, all of the questions that you probably have in mind. Hello?
Good afternoon. Your name and location.
Good afternoon.
You're welcome.
Yes.
Yeah, Big John is calling from Port Harcourt town.
Big John, go on.
Yeah, just you asking the last caller. It does not begin from the bottom up. Believe me, it begins from the top down to the bottom. So when he says those leaders, senators, House of Reps should present their certificate, believe me, he's right. It is not because it has to start from the bottom. These leaders today started from the bottom, rose to become who they are, and are looking for shortcut for their children to scale through. And so they bribe those people at the bottom who are in charge of their children. Believe me, even as I'm talking to you, there are lots of parents who want to use shortcuts to get their children to get these certificates. I can remember very well that while in secondary school, still waiting to write WASC, some parents of very rich classmates have already registered external for their children, for their works, while we are waiting to write the internal examination. By the time those of us who are not able to do so, or whose parents are not rich enough to get people to write external wire for us, they've already gotten some of the papers already waiting for them. Like, in our time, for example, maths and English are compulsory, not now that they're trying to weave off maths. They've already gotten either maths or English, even before we write the main exam. The external people their parents pay have already gotten those papers for them. So believe me, it's leadership by example. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. In as much as you want to say that it begins from the top, even those people at the top, you want to analyze their life, all right? And maybe come to the conclusion that if they were able, or if they are able to forge certificates at that level, it means they could have tried it somewhere else along their way up. We want to look at that as well.
Let's see if we can take some more calls before we wrap up. I think we just have about 2-3 minutes to wrap up. 0810-9510-951. That's the number that you can call. 0810-9510-951. Text messages or WhatsApp messages, okay. Facebook, none. But do well to drop a comment on Facebook, and as you go there, Today 95.1 FM, you can do a follow, so you'll be abreast with most of our conversations here on Today 95.1 FM. JAMB uncovers 15,000 forged admission letters forged, and you're looking at asking questions. Why is this happening or why? 15,000. Now, this is a huge number. Huge. We're not talking 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, 14 to 15,000 forged admission letters. And it was uncovered by JAMB. Well, kudos to JAMB for that. But then, how can this be curbed? What is the problem? So while these admission letters are supposed to be used for the National Youth Service Corps, the question would be, is it for the Alawi? Is it just to get the certificate? Because, I mean, you get the allowance for a year, you'll be issued a certificate at the end of your service, of your national service. So is that what it is? What is the relevance? And why do we record cases of forgery? And we've got your thought. I mean, some of you say it's a menace that needs to be curbed. You look at the education sector, you want to look at those loopholes that should also be taken care of. The Oyelede did say that some vice chancellors, registrars have been
including some staff.
Oh, some staff.
Yeah.
So it means okay.
it's a collaborative effort. So it means it's a collaborative effort because you're wondering. So if a student forges admission letter, and it must have some accompanying documents as well.
Absolutely.
So how were they able to forge it, and how are they able to move from one point to the other? Did they do that in a vacuum or in collaboration with some other people? Now, they talked about the fact that 17 deputy VCs, deputy registrars, JAMB workers in ICPC custody, and well, they're doing something about that. So maybe at the end of the day, they would have an idea of how all of this worked out, of how the student was able to do the forgery and was able to get to the point that they were uncovered. So that's a process that they need to look into. And so when they discover the issues that they would discover in course of this investigation, maybe that would give them the idea of what to do to be able to curb this particular issue of forgery.
This message here says, Faustina and Queen, I hope the certificate and fake admission letters uncovered by JAM included the recently resigned minister's admission letter, Michael Newmort.
No, for you.
Okay.
Well, for you.
That's our program. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today, 95.1 it's been Andrea Gorgie. Next week, Tuesday, we're back again, same time, 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Coming up shortly will be the news update at 2. Afterwards, we'll still be here for Talk That Talk. I am Queen Shima.
And I'm Faustina Putu. Thank you so much for listening.
Tune in for a journey beyond the ordinary.
Fasten your seatbelts.
We are not just a station, we are the station. Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
It all begins with breaking news.
Now make no mistake, this is a difficult mission, and it will remain difficult for some time.
Then it keeps trending. Events, issues, personalities, all struggling to gain attention. But in the race for deadlines, the intrigues, power play, undercurrents are often missed or underreported.
Insecurity here is basically a product of poverty.
But not anymore.
As the platform on radio steps in to fill the missing links on events, issues, and personalities in the news.
I'm not afraid of anybody. Yeah!
The platform on radio serves all the hottest topics and trending issues. Only on Today 95.1 FM.
95.1 FM.
Port Harcourt.
Weekdays, 4 p.m.
Get on the platform on radio and be served.
Want to know what's happening? Get latest information in sports, politics, lifestyle, you name it. The frequency of choice. Today, 95.1 FM. Today, 95.1 FM. We serve you the latest update on everything. Today, 95.1 FM. We are the voice of the people. The voice of the people.
Whether it's happening in Port Harcourt, South South, Nigeria, or around the world, we've got you covered. On air, online, delivering balanced news and unbiased analysis. Today, 95.1 FM.
Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. News update.
Hello and good afternoon. Here's the news update on Today 95.1 FM. I am Faustina Oputu. The Federal High Court Abuja has given the detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, until November 5 to open his defense on terrorism-related charges or risk forfeiting his right to do so. Justice James Omotosho issued the directive after Kanu, who is representing himself, failed for the fourth time to begin his defense following the prosecution's closure of its case and the court's earlier rejection of his no-case submission. At today's sitting, Kanu told the court he would not enter any defense, insisting there was no valid charge against him and demanded to be released immediately, arguing that his continued trial was unlawful. However, prosecution counsel Adeboyega Awomolo objected to fresh documents filed by Kanu, claiming they were not properly filed and that the defendant was attempting to delay the proceedings. He asked the court to treat the filings as Kanu's final written address and fix a date for judgment. James Omotosho ruled that the documents were properly filed and would be considered a judgment, noting that Kanu should be allowed to consult a lawyer for proper guidance. The matter was adjourned to November 5 when Kanu is expected to open his defense or be deemed to have waived his right to do so. The Police Service Commission PSC has deployed its staff monitors across the 3 senatorial zones of Anambra State to ensure police officers conduct themselves professionally during Saturday's governorship election. Chairman of the commission, DIG Hashimu Agungu, urged officers on election duty to maintain impartiality, discipline and professionalism, stressing that their primary responsibility is to protect both electoral officials and materials. He directed that the police personnel must provide a safe and conducive environment for voters to exercise their rights without intimidation or obstruction, warning that any officer who compromises their duty will face sanctions. Agungu described the Anambra election as a test case for the Nigeria Police Force ahead of the 2027 general elections, commending the Anambra State Police Command and its Commissioner CP Ikyoye Orutogo for their preparedness and recent visits to area commands and flashpoints across the state. The PSC chairman said officers who demonstrate professionalism and commitment during the polls will be duly recognized, while erring ones will be disciplined. According to the PSC, its monitors will operate from the state capital, Oka, and across the 3 senatorial districts of Anambra State. Nigeria's Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, has called on African countries to strengthen their air traffic management ATM capacity through strategic recruitment, training and retention of skilled personnel. Keyamo made the call at the opening ceremony of the 36th International Federation of Air Traffic Controllers Association Africa and Middle East regional meeting held in Victoria Falls, Zimbabwe. According to a statement by his media advisor, Tunde Moshood, the minister, while speaking on the theme Securing the Skies, Strengthening ATM Capacity Through Strategic Recruitment, Training and Retention, emphasized that as air traffic across Africa continues to expand, the need for well-trained and motivated air traffic controllers has become more critical than ever. He noted that while technology remains important, it is the professionalism, vigilance and dedication of air traffic controllers that ensure the safety of millions of passengers daily. Reaffirming Nigeria's commitment under President Bola Tinubu's renewed hope agenda, the minister outlined the federal government's 5-point aviation strategy, which includes modernizing communication, navigation and surveillance air traffic management systems, expanding training pipelines for air traffic controllers, and institutionalizing mental well-being and peer mentorship programs through the Nigerian Airspace Management Agency. Keyamo also highlighted Nigeria's collaboration with Batagu and other regional aviation bodies to enhance safety oversight, certification and professional standards. On the foreign scene, European Union EU environment ministers are set to make a final push to agree on key emissions target ahead of the United Nations COP30 climate summit set to take place in Belém, Brazil from November 10 to 21. And that's the news update on Today 95.1 FM. I'm Faustina Oputu.
From the streets of Lagos to the city of Abuja and all the way to London, the Chisholm Tour has been making waves. And now, he is bringing the same unforgettable experience to the Garden City, Port Harcourt. Get ready for a night of laughter and music. It's MC Monica live in Port Harcourt. Who is Chisholm Tour? Comedy by K.O. Baba, Abari.com, MC Royal, Prof. Mani, GSN, Fond Comedian, and many more. Music by Paper Corleone, G3 Miami, and lots more. Date is Sunday, November 9th, 2025 at LA Kings Event Center, Port Harcourt. Doors open at 6 p.m. and showtime 7 p.m. Tickets regular 10K, VIP 30K, Gold Table 2 million naira, and sponsorship table 3 million naira. Get your tickets online at tellerafricatickets.com or call 0816-411-2187 for more info and sponsorship. MC Monica live in Port Harcourt is powered by Chima Aguma Foundation, supported by Boo Portland Hotel, Giants Incorporated, Sunville Developers, the Frankfurt Global, and Talkaholic Unlimited. Be the partner, Today FM.
Okay, all right. All you need to know about this one is that
95.1 FM. Such a unique dial.
Get ready to feel the rhythm, the groove, and the true vibes of Africa. This is not just music. This is High Life. From the legends to the latest, we're bringing you the best of palm wine grooves, jazzy horns, and soul-stirring melodies. There was a sound that told our stories, a rhythm that made our fathers dance and our mothers smile. Welcome to The Thrill, a musical journey through time where legends live on and new stars shine. Join us from Mondays to Thursdays, 9 p.m. on Today 95.1 FM for the ultimate High Life musical show. Don't just listen, feel the music. High Life lives here. Africa.
Live your truth. Express your love. Share your enthusiasm. Take actions towards your dreams. Talk your talk. And walk your walk.
It was years ago. There's a statute of limitation on this stuff.
Make today worth remembering as we discuss issues as it affects Nigeria moving forward. Talk that talk.
Weekdays, 2 p.m.
Exclusively on Today 95.1 FM Port Harcourt.
Voice of the people.
A beautiful afternoon to you and a warm welcome to Talk That Talk
on Today 95.1 FM Voice of the People. My name is Queen Chima.
And I'm Faustina Oputu. So it's 9 minutes past 2 p.m. and it's still Tuesday, the 4th of November, 2025. All right, so take this as a continuation of our conversation yesterday. Now, just in case you didn't follow the conversation of yesterday, you have missed a lot. But, well, this is a reminder. So we had a conversation that sprang up from the U.S. threat to, come help us. Some people have said, well, just say, come help us. Others are using the word invasion, but, well, to invade Nigeria. because for some, invasion is the word. When you're threatening that, well, if you're not able to do this, I will come and do it for you. And when it's a threat, okay, it's an invasion. And especially when the country you're talking about is a sovereign country, is a sovereign nation, is not, part of your country where you can just say, oh, this is part of my country, so I can just get in at any point in time that I want to go help. So a certain U.S. foreign policy expert, Dr. Walid Perez, yesterday, we talked about him, where he suggested, it was a piece of advice to the President of the United States, Donald Trump, that in order to fight the terrorists, the jihadists, he used the word jihadists, terrorizing and killing people in Nigeria, that he should establish an emergency base. Those are the words he used, an emergency base here in Port Harcourt, right? And we did have that conversation. Well, some people, surprisingly, I don't know if I should use the word surprisingly, but well, I was thinking that many people would not like the fact that, many people oppose, that they wouldn't like what he said.
In fact, we had someone suggesting yesterday that you can bring it to
Eche. Yes.
Yes, let the base be.
So they can, in trying to wipe out the terrorists and the jihadis in wherever that they are terrorizing and killing people. They'll be able to, deal with the issue of land grabbing as well. I mean, that's the reason he gave, that good a thing that they want to do that. They should come to River State, not in Port Harcourt, but they should come to Eche. Someone did say that. But some people were asking, why would he, we did ask the question, why Port Harcourt? Why would he say Port Harcourt? And just as if he was listening, or of course, but there were other comments. Some Port Harcourt people were under his comments saying, why Port Harcourt? Is Port Harcourt Sambisa Forest? Is Port Harcourt where the terrorists or the jihadists are killing Christians? We have the killings going on, say, in Benue State, Plateau State, and some other states that the killings are taking place. Why not there? Why would it be Port Harcourt that you're advising the U.S. president to, establish the base in Port Harcourt? And I did see a certain commentator talking about the fact that they shouldn't, responding to Dr. Walid, shouldn't militarize Port Harcourt. Yes, it did say that. But he gave reasons as to why he advised that. He took to Twitter, to X, explaining why he said Port Harcourt, why he, maybe not specifically why Port Harcourt, but why away from where the killings are going on. Now, remember yesterday when he started with the word Port Harcourt. Port Harcourt. And this time around, he started with Nigeria. Now he said, establishing a U.S. military command inside an operational base in the north within the jihadi terrorist area is strategically out of the question. Right? Logistical lines from the Atlantic would be a nightmare. Such a location would risk being attacked, surrounded, or overrun. That is, if you take it to where, the terrorists or the jihadis are operating. You don't place a strategic command at close tactical distance from the enemy. Now, if a decision is made, it has not been made. So it's not something that the U.S. has said, well, this is what we want to do. He was the one who was
giving the suggestion.
Yeah, exactly. So just in case you're getting it twisted, don't get it twisted. These objective conditions must be met. Now, he says a direct short line of support from the coast and the U.S. Navy. A large zone of popular support around the site extending for dozens of miles. The base must be unreachable by jihadi militias. Local recruitment and force integration should be prioritized for security. Now, the base must enable sustainable strikes and operations against Boko Haram and other jihadist groups in the northern and plateau regions. Now he said, yes, theoretical map projection, not accurate. Okay, so I mean, there is the map there. And now I think he's just giving the caveat, just so people are aware that this is not something that the U.S. has planned already. So this is his response to everyone who's been asking,
Why Port Harcourt?
Why Port Harcourt? Why not where the insurgency or the killings or the genocide, the Christian genocide that we're talking about is taking place? Why not in those places? Now, this is strategic. All right. So if you establish the base where the jihadists are operating, I mean, the terrain is familiar to them.
Yes.
So they know exactly how to go about it. And said, you're coming from another country, so you'd want to be, you're not familiar with the terrain. You're not familiar with the environment. And so whatever it is you're doing, you have to be very careful. And if they know, and that they know their terrain, they know their way about, to just find a way around the issues, you might be surprised that you that is coming from another country to come help Nigeria, you'll be the target. And at the end of the day, it'll be like, wow, you just embarked on a journey in futility. And that's the reason he's saying it should be far away from there. And looking at Port Harcourt, it is strategic. It is strategic. And so this would help, or this would make the journey or the fight more successful. And that's the reason he said, well, it has to be Port Harcourt. And that's why he mentioned the port city of the Biafra region.
Yes.
So he had probably looked at the map and felt like, okay, this is how we can go about it. It would be easier for us to move whatever it is we need to move around to be able to fight the jihadists and win this particular battle for Nigeria.
Well, good response from the advisor to the Republican, former policy advisor. For some people, with all of this analysis or not, we don't care. So for us, it's like the statement responses. I was going through a number of responses and what people thought about what he said, the advisor, and people say no. From the questions of why Port Harcourt to well, we are not having this. So even if there has to be an installation of a military base in Nigeria, the Nigerian government would have to consent to that first. So well,
I think Bola issued that statement.
Yes, we would not want to open up this conversation. But at the same time, some people began to eulogize Port Harcourt, eulogize this state, and saying, oh, how important the state is to not just Nigeria, but to Africa, despite the challenges that the state has maybe faced politically. But they began to eulogize the terrain, the people, and what effect that the state can have in Nigeria. But these reasons being one that the former policy advisor says is enough for a base if there was supposed to be a base to be installed in Port Harcourt. What do you think about them if it's something that's really valid? But then these are responses, and then the question about militarizing Port Harcourt comes to bear. Some people saying some of these instances can begin to bring up certain connotations that are not necessary about a state, and these connotations are not great representation for a state. Remember that when we started reading his tweet yesterday, we said, oh, an emergency base, and somehow some people took their minds back to state of emergency in the state for 6 months, and so that word may just sounded like a scare for some people. No, we don't want something like that. As much as you're celebrating the terrain and how it would be perfect to fight terrorists and jihadists, you don't go put a base where in the middle of the problem. There has to be a lack of access and all of those security concerns and issues. But then militarizing this state for some people is not a good representation. So Port Harcourt does not want to be represented as such.
And there is also the narrative of, Port Harcourt. This might just be a way of putting Port Harcourt in the map of the world. Like,
okay.
Put let's be in the faces of people all over the world. Like, okay, there's an emergency U.S. military base sighted in Port Harcourt, and then people get to begin to read about Port Harcourt. For everyone who doesn't know about Port Harcourt, because of this, they would want to go and check out Port Harcourt. Where is Port Harcourt? There's Port Harcourt that if there has to be a base, that's after all the processes are followed or not. Well, we don't know, but there are processes that ought to be followed to have things like that. But if there has to be, this is in a way trying to put Port Harcourt the map of the world.
Map of the world.
Yeah, to have Port Harcourt on the lips of everyone. So you think about certain operations of the U.S. in other countries, and you mentioned Nigeria, okay? Where in Nigeria? Port Harcourt, all right? Why Port Harcourt? You want to know why Port Harcourt. So you look at the terrain, you look at how the people, how accommodating, how safe. And if Dr. Walid has said that the base has to be strategic. It has to be somewhere where it's easier for them to fight the jihadists and then win the fight against the jihadists. And for some people, it means that Port Harcourt is that place that the U.S. can, just comfortably stay, all right, to set up a base or establish a base so that they are able to carry out their fights. And so, well, this is all good. That is for some people. This is all good for Port Harcourt. So we're not known or we're not heard for the wrong reasons. It's not a state of emergency this time around. It's for the good. That's fine. But some people are still not having it, regardless of whatever reason that you give.
People have held on to. There's no Christian genocide happening here, so there isn't a point for a base to be installed here. Some people have said, oh wow, we see the plot now, citing how rich the state is in terms of natural resource, oil. So, oh wow, amazing plots, round of applause, absolutely. So this is strategic for the U.S. government. But overall, we've seen think tanks, we've seen elites, we've seen political experts and both activists and stakeholders talk about how, as important as this concern and this alert raised by the U.S. government, although people have questioned some of the words and phrases that the U.S. government used and said, no, Nigeria should not be associated to that. First, a country of particular concern, and then I think there's another phrase that he uses, disgraced country.
How can you say that?
How can you say that about the country? So, but for some people, as much as there has to be that consent and that signing to the agreement of letting U.S. set up its military base, nothing like that would happen in the country. But the pointing to Port Harcourt just brings up, raises dust to control of resources, raises the dust of, Christian genocide isn't happening here, so why would you cite Port Harcourt? Whatever your reasons are, if it should be cited, if these military bases are usually installed very far from the center of these terrorist attacks, and that's why, maybe think of any other state then that is not experiencing a Christian genocide. Why Port Harcourt? I'm sure if any other state is
talking about the ports, if you're talking about the ports being viable or being helpful.
Some people say, what happened to Lagos?
Okay.
And then Lagos will tell you the reasons why there should not be a base, a military base in it. So it's just a call. There's that response from Rivers people and that response from people living in Port Harcourt or people who are from Rivers State. No, we don't want to be associated with that. While you may think that, this just may somehow put Rivers State in the map in the world, some people say, no, we don't want that sort of representation as a map. In the map of the world, would prefer something else, not a military base. Especially citing, for some people, what military interventions by the U.S. government has caused certain nations. That's why it's not a welcome development.
Okay. So while you think, you're thinking what you're thinking, for some people, yesterday having the conversation, for some people, whatever it takes to have these killings stop, It's fine, even if it means citing an emergency base or U.S. military base in Port Harcourt, as long as they're able to deal with the issues squarely, that's okay. So it's not a problem. They can come to Port Harcourt, it's fine. But for others, it's really not fine. That would mean militarizing Port Harcourt and, well, try and see as much as you can to site the base close to where the issues are happening. But he's saying that this is the mention of Port Harcourt being far away from where you want to say the theater of war for some people, but for where the issues are happening or the killings are happening, it's strategic, so that they're able to do whatever it is they want to do, plan, map out modalities, to be able to deal with the issues squarely. And so, well, the response you've gotten from him, and maybe this would douse your douse tension, or this would convince you otherwise that, well, okay, maybe if you're opposing this piece of advice by Dr. Walid, maybe you have a change of mind to say, okay, now I understand, it's fine. If this is to happen, then let them go ahead and cite it, as long as at the end of the day we would not have the killings that are happening in other parts of the country. After all, maybe we need the help. The killings have been ongoing for a very long time, and the Nigerian government will tell you, well, we're on top of the situation. We have deployed personnel to troubled areas. Yes, troubled areas. They use that word also. Troubled areas. And we've been hearing those, stories about being on top of the situation. After being on top of the situation, probably the situation comes on top of them, because we get to hear about, killings every now and then, and it hasn't stopped.
Yeah.
It hasn't stopped. And so maybe this is what we need as a people, to have all these killings stop, or maybe bring it to the minimum where Nigeria is able to just, when it occurs again, Nigeria is able to put a stop to it immediately. All right, so this reason that has been given by Dr. Walis Faraz, foreign policy, U.S. foreign policy expert, do you think that this is a valid reason? Do you now see the need, or do you now agree, or do you now see that the mention of Port Harcourt is really strategic, or you would stick to what you've been saying, you stick to your opinion of opposing the mention of Port Harcourt? It doesn't have to be Port Harcourt. Go there. Just go there. You don't care if the fight is successful or not. Go there. I mean, if you are as strong as you think, you can as well go to the battlefield, site your base there, and be able to win the battle, right? So maybe that's it for you.
Let's get your thoughts. 0810-9510951. That is 0810-9510951. Send us text or WhatsApp message to 0701-9339-962. Drop a comment on Facebook, Today 95.1 FM. Talk That Talk is the program. We'd like to get your thoughts. We're taking a commercial, 2:30, but then let's see how many calls we can take before then. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Your name and location.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yes.
Yeah, this is Honorable Prince Opis. I greet everybody.
We greet you.
Welcome.
Yeah. Let me ask this question. If US announced that they are coming to establish company, hospital, food, where people will go and eat free food made in US, good hospital in River State or in Port Harcourt, will they be opposing it? This one now is life. So I don't even see any other thing that the US can give me than to secure my life. Whence our own security personnel, their own microscope cannot detect where the bomber boys. So if US can come and establish their base here, unless there is another thing, maybe people that are killing people allegedly, they always frighten anytime they hear we are coming for you. If you look at all the politicians now, they are uniting. This one issue press statement, but issue that press statement. Talk to those bomber boys. If I catch you, I will deal with you. But look at all of them now. I'm coming out from their wherever they hide.
Apologies. We need to go on the commercial break now.
No problem. I will come back when you come back.
You will make sure you call us.
All right, we need to go on that break. We'll be back. Stay with us.
Okay, all right. All you need to know about this one is that
95.1 FM. Such a unique style.
As you don't finish school, opportunity don't come. Join Nigerian Army. The River State government, they tell all our youth for the 23 local governments to take advantage of this opportunity and join the Nigerian Army 90th regular intake permanent employment. Oh yeah, apply online and submit your application before 14th of November 2025. You must get 5 credits, English and Maths compulsory, not more than 2 sittings. For your West African Secondary School Certificate exam, this employment not be for degree or diploma holders. Your age must be from 18 to 26 years. You must stay single, and as a woman, you no go don born pikin. Application na free. To apply, visit our recruitment portal for recruitment.army.mil.ng. Rivers State Government ready to give logistics support to the people who qualify. For more information, visit the Rivers State Ministry of Youth Development, Block C, 7th floor, State Secretariat Complex, Port Harcourt. This message now from the Rivers State Ministry of Youth Development.
95.1 FM, voice of the people.
And we're back.
Today 95.1 FM, voice of the people. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, yesterday we are taking a story where a presidential campaign of the Republican President Donald Trump said that an emergency U.S. military base be established in Port Harcourt. Walid Fares, the former advisor to the Republican presidential campaign of President Donald Trump, and that had raised talks here and there. Why Port Harcourt? What? Military base? There's no Christian genocide in Port Harcourt, so it should not be a consideration, or not to talk of a statement put out on X. Don't even think about it. We had a number of responses. Now, he did respond to a lot of questions. I mean, it's like maybe a tweet again saying that, well, these are a number of reasons why Port Harcourt is, or could be, I mean, the most appropriate place to install a military base, U.S. military base. He did talk about the terrain. He also talked about the fact that, well, the fact that you're fighting jihadists and terrorists does not mean that you go install the base right where the war is. So it has to be strategic, and then a number of other reasons. But this does not seem convincing enough. People still responding. We have backlashes, and so I'm saying Nigerians reject calls for U.S. military base in Port Harcourt, saying no. Some Port Harcourt people say no, don't militarize the city. It's not a necessary statement. And he did say, oh well, it's the main port city of the Biafra region. Yesterday he talked about that. He did relate the port and why this would be the most convenient or the appropriate space to set up a U.S. military base. Now, what do you think about this response? I mean, further response, like tweeting again and saying, this is why I said what I said. And now some people had stated, oh, yes, Nigeria's oil heart, Port Harcourt, that's the entry point to the Niger Delta. So we see what's playing out now, especially because of the undertones that some people have been relating this to. The invasion by the U.S. president and the U.S. government that was hinted last week Saturday. We just saw on the news that China is supporting Nigeria against U.S. invasion, saying, Nigeria, we stand by your side. We support you. Nothing, it is not acceptable.
More like we get backing. We have the backing of China at the moment. And I mean, once again, you want to begin to think about the undertones, we're talking US and China now.
Yeah.
You know how it is. Two biggest economies who are in whatever kind of war that they're in, tariff sanctions and here and there, trying to say, well, I am the big brother here and all of those things. But then what concerns us in all of this at the moment, I mean, everything concerns us, other people, but the mention of Port Harcourt would definitely concern Port Harcourt. So if you're suggesting, why would anyone sit and think about the fact that there are killings going on in the places that the killings have taken place? You know the places. For you to know that there is genocide, it means that you've heard stories. You probably know exactly where these killings are taking place. And then from reports from the Nigerian media about the different killings ongoing in different places. So it gives you an idea of where all of these are happening. And so one would think that, well, take the war to them. Go to where they are. We did talk about the fact that yesterday, when we have conversations about these killings and where they're happening, people talk about going to those places, deploy the appropriate personnel to those places so they'll be able to fight the insurgents, fight the bandits, fight the terrorists that are terrorizing, that are killing the people that they have killed, or the people that are carrying out the killings. Why would it be anywhere else? Go to those places, wipe them out. But this is, this is different from the normal logic. For anyone who is listening or is hearing this or who read about this and is wondering, maybe not a security personnel, and so you don't think that establishing a base away from where the killings are taking place is a good idea. But that's the reason Dr. Walid has come out to say that, well, this is why I said what I said. The establishment of a base away from the theater of war, of killings, is very strategic. It would help. There are ports in Port Harcourt, and so it would help facilitate the movement of troops and whatever it is that they need to move, and so it would be fine. If they go to those places, movement probably would be hindered, and so the fight may not be successful. If we're away from the area, the fight is going to be more successful. But, we're asking if this makes sense to you now, this particular explanation makes any sense to you at the moment, or you still saying it's not good enough? The reason or the reasons is given for the mention of Port Harcourt in all of this not good enough. They're not sitting well with you still at the moment. Let's get to have you join the conversation. It is Talk That Talk on Today 95.1 FM. Call 0810-9510-951 or send a message, a regular text message, or you can send it via WhatsApp to 0701-933-9962. Drop a comment on Facebook at Today 95.1 FM, on X at Today FM 951. Call straight to the point. Here we go. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, Faustina and the colleagues.
And Queen
Chima, am I right?
Yes,
right.
You are. Go on, please.
Good afternoon. AB is calling from Port Harcourt.
Go on, AB.
Go on, please.
Faustina, actually, I equally read that statement on the X handle of the man. Well, what he actually said, for me, is point out. Is well spot on.
Okay.
Because if you remember, I believe Nigerian Army has a base in Borno State, another state in the north. And you will recall when they will be telling you that they have been run over. Boko Haram have taken over. Boko Haram have ambushed. Boko Haram have done that. So for me, if they are suggesting that Port Harcourt will be a base so that they can be able to track. And remember when there was an outcry that these bandits and what have you are migrating to Southtown during 2019 and what have you in their numbers. So telling you that if they are attacked, possibly when you attack, you don't kill immediately. Some will run away. Some will take off. So when they are taking off, they are all equally coming to the south. So for me, establishing base here is not a problem. Unlike what Trump just said, most of the North who have not been speaking and now have X-handle, they are posting and talking about what Trump just said, telling you that these people are hypocrites. They know what they are doing all these years, and they are keeping quiet. Christians are being died, killed on here and there. Benue State mass killing, and people are denying it, that there is no genocide. What a country is this, for goodness sake? Today, Babangida that is alive, they are all speaking because Trump made a statement. These people are hypocrites. They are evil. They don't even deserve to live as a different country with us. I'm telling you honestly speaking. Thank you.
Calm down. I thought you wanted to just say they don't deserve to live. Okay, in the same country. But, well, this is their country as well. So, and your country as well. So we're living in the same country.
Good afternoon. Your name and location?
Hello.
Yes, good afternoon.
Hello.
We can
hear you. Go on.
Please.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Faustina and Queen. This is Nelson calling from Igrita.
Welcome, Nelson.
Before I will comment on this issue, first of all, if our government have taken proper responsibility of their duty, we wouldn't have gotten to this point now. At all. I said, just for example, you have a father that have a family. The father always is sure of himself and don't mind what happens to the children, the wife and children. The children, the wife is being raped, the children are being molested. Every time the father will say, don't worry, we get to the root of the matter, but he keep on repeating. If Nigerian government have handled this issue, we should have gotten to this point they are. So to the question, if, just like the last caller said, these people are more professional. And even when Buhari will say it's a general, order the service chief to relocate to Maiduguri. See, to me, I'm not a military man, but I see that as a failure. Because those generals don't go to war. It's strategy they dish out to deal in the field.
Okay.
And if you don't have a good tactics to give out, those people who are in that, what the base they are talking about, they don't go to war. So they don't even need to be closer to the war. At least, common sense, I do watch foreign military films. So, to me, anywhere they feel that it's okay, that this problem will be solved, or our government should sit up, because they are not saying they want to do it. They use the word if. If the government fails, they use the word if. So our government still have the time now to correct their weakness. Because look at it now, these people who are killing people, the next thing you will hear, repentant Boko Haram. Tomorrow they go back.
All right, that's your time. Thank you. Thank you.
The government is not serious.
Thank you so much. That's your time. Hello, good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining.
Faustina, good afternoon.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
I now realize why we have the kind of leaders that are ruling us. Do you know why?
No.
Because we are people who don't look at issue from the broader perspective, one-way thinking. For a people to say that a country should invade its own country. Look at China has entered now. They are not even vast to understand the international politics that is in this thing. Look at Benghazi. Look at Sudan. Look at a lot of these countries. Even this radio call you're calling, you won't call it. Are they aware? Hello?
Yeah, we're listening.
Everything concerned America is for the interest of America. America is not a for Christmas. Allow them to come. Like I say in time, whether you go feed the call radio. People who are for their interest. What are we talking? I think China don't enter. Very soon Russia go enter. Then you turn here into a war zone like it happened in Benghazi. Let us see whether we not go regret at the end of the year. Do we know international politics? That's why we have the kind of leaders we have, because we don't think. Thank you.
All right, Christian. Okay. I mean, the entire thing is, for some people, even this particular conversation we're having is not what the U.S. has said they would do. Okay? It's not what the US has said they would do. It's the Dr. Walid Fares that has talked about advising. He advised in his tweet. It was a piece of advice that if they want to get the jihadists out, that he advised they establish an emergency base in Port Harcourt that would enable them, do whatever it is that they want to do. And this is based on the threat by the president of the U.S., Donald Trump, that if Nigeria fails to do the needful, they would come in and deal with the jihadists. All right? They would come in and deal with the jihadists. Wherever it is they are, they would deal with the jihadists. That is it. And I mean, if Nigeria does the needful at the moment, well, there wouldn't be any need for that. The needful could be, conversations with the U.S. on how they can help with the issue of insecurity, issue of dealing with all of these. I mean, I think that the Nigerian government would, at this point, begin to put things in place to make sure that, well, they deal with the issues that they have to deal with. And for whatever it is that anybody's thinking, oh, U.S. want to start to bomb Nigeria, that's not the thing. That's not it, okay? Well, thank you so much for joining the conversation. You can keep them coming in.
Yes, because there's a clause there. It says if the Nigerian government does not, we will do this.
And they did not say we'll come and bomb Nigeria.
At all.
And even we'll come and kill everybody in Nigeria.
Even
no.
with the will, there has to be power.
They were specific.
There has to be consent. Well, the military intervention threats by the U.S. seems overbearing instead of collaborative. But rather than such forceful intervention, even with military base, the U.S. should forcefully establish industrial bases here. We're actually killed not by insecurity, but by poverty, as poverty breeds insecurity. Special Douglas from GRA. I like the way you spelled GRA. This person says we do not need AI to analyze an intelligent statement. If our minds are not dull, cantonments are not warehouses and cannot be located on the battlefield. Chimeno Haka. While there may be no human killing in Port Harcourt, there was a killing of democracy and the rule of law. All the same, I don't support U.S. invasion. Nduka. Good day, all. In as much as I understand that Trump's threat of military attack was actually a wake-up call to our leaders to rise and confront this evil and carnage, I believe that in international politics and diplomacy, the UN must ratify such moves first because Nigeria is a sovereign nation. Again, the people dying are humans, not cows. It's so sad that our leaders are not moved by this bloodletting and massacres going on because they are not affected. Imagine if it affects them, Prince. Okay. We'll take more calls and comment on Facebook. Good afternoon, your name and location.
Yeah, good afternoon. Continuation on Queen.
Thank you for joining us.
Go
on.
Firstly, the suggestion or advice by that security expert, to me, it seems so, I think it's so rude because I don't know.
Hello? Hello, are you there? Okay, cannot hear you anymore. Do well to try again. 08109510951. I mean, the clarification as to why he suggested Port Harcourt to be where a base, emergency base, should be established. Does it sit well with you, or, well, it doesn't? Let's get to hear from you. Good afternoon. Hello? Okay, that dropped as well. Send a message to 0701-933-9962. Regular text message, or you can send it via WhatsApp.
Okay. Good afternoon, your name and location.
Yeah, Faustina. You two are back. Well, this reminds me one of the book I read when I was in secondary school. One man with a horse and decide to say, okay, my wife, take the horse, let me walk on the on my foot. Man, instead of you, the man of the house, he's supposed to be on top of the horse so that your wife will trek. See, if US are coming to establish US base, military base, for them to attack the terrorists. Look at the terrorists. They are not attacking Nigerians unless there is something Nigerian government are hiding. The terrorists, they are telling us they are terrorists. I know when Nigerian government stopped some media to report underline Mohammed, you people should not report what is going on in Mubi and the Borno. I have a brother. I have about 3 brothers. 3 is dead, military. So one of them will bury only shoe in the compound. Till today, none of them know that the shoe will bury. So if I'm telling you that what they are doing in that Borno is not affecting me, I am lying to you. So if US can come, if our own military have compromised, you hear the news that they are now reintegrating them into Nigerian military, allegedly. They saw Ashebi, celebrate them. Somebody will even come and say, I am a bandit. Bandits are now showing Ashebi, rejoicing with the Nigerian government. Do you think that the military, US don't know what is going on?
All right.
They came here, they say they came here and carry all their information, everything about what is going on in Nigeria.
All
They are
right.
intelligent. They are not
All right.
going
We've
to shoot anybody.
We've got your thoughts. Thank you for calling. If you're calling in, you just be kind with your words. AB was using evil on calling people evil. You have to be sure of what you're saying when you say people are evil. So you're not on the line to refute that, but then just don't call and call people evil. Thank you so much. Would see some more messages. We don't have any here. Do we have comments on Facebook?
Sure we do. Okay, so this this one says Zoa Keme, that man has no message. Okay. Actors Sunday, yes, is correct. It's correct. So you agree that the base should be established away from the zone where whatever that is happening. Kum Godwin says, you just simply said yes. So, Victor Barry Godwin, these people have a hidden interest. Is it today that they know that people are being killed? Okay. Mpoi Kanke Odoaka. Why are we making this man relevant? He's just a political commentator. Oh, well, what he said, he mentioned Port Harcourt as where he thinks that a base should be sited. So it should be of concern to you. You should talk about it, right? You're monitoring and evaluating and you're looking at whatever affects Port Harcourt. So we should have a conversation about it. But thank you so much for your comments on Facebook. This is still Talk That Talk on Today 95.1 FM. We'll take just a few calls. So 1, 2, 3, and then we'll wrap up. Hello?
Foxy and Queen, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
You're welcome.
This is Springs. Foxy, sorry for asking this question. I'm not supposed to ask you this question, because so that you understand what I want to say.
You're not supposed to.
I've loved one before. Because what I'm saying, based on what our Nigerian government are saying, see, if you have lost your loved one, I don't think it takes anybody who do kill by hand, or either you sponsor people to kill the person for you, that they can only go against what America want to do. They are not coming to kill Nigeria.
But then again, moving away from the general issues, they are all connected, I understand. But staying in line with our conversation, this is coming down to Port Harcourt, all right? So this policy,
that thing they said, but it's just normal thing. They don't want to do anything like that.
Well, but if they mention Port Harcourt and maybe, just maybe, because you have narrative flying in your head. But do you think that the mention of Port Harcourt, are you not wondering why Port Harcourt?
Even if they mention Port Harcourt, it's just like they say when you have cockroach in your cupboard.
So it's fine to have it here. If
they say Port Harcourt, is it going to be everywhere in Port Harcourt? See, America, they don't do things like we Nigeria. They have, now if you can take your mind back, when they kidnapped one of America's as a den, When America wants, did they not go to Sambisa, for instance, to pick the person? Did they kill everybody there? They went and brought out their person that they kidnapped. They know what to see. Before they sell this in there, they know everything. Let Nigerian government don't permit them come and take those people out. They know it's their brothers and their sponsors. That is the reason why they are denying. They don't want them to come. They know. They know that the people that America want to come and kill are their brothers.
I mean, how did you come to that conclusion? Because you're not them.
I am telling you, they know that it's their brother, their sponsor.
So you get into the mind of everybody, and you know what they know.
Whose thoughts would they use for 2027? If America come now, whose thoughts would they use?
Have you seen talks before? Like, have you seen people sending talks?
If America come to flush them out, whose thoughts with APC use for 2027 for election? Whose thoughts would they use? No, who thought? Okay, remember when they said they want to come and bomb National Assembly? Do you not see how they restructure the security? Just last week, they said they want to bomb another. Do you not see how they restructure the security in Abuja? What happened to Kogi? Did they do anything like that to Kogi that they key? Did they do anything like that to Kaduna? But look at Abuja. Just only National Assembly, they restructure everywhere for them not to come.
That's your
Why
time.
They don't use that strength? Why they don't use that strength?
Thank you. That is your time. Thank you so much.
They know that their brother.
When you say they know. How do you know that they know?
I think I have your private number. I would have discussed it. I don't want to go to.
Except you know what I don't know, like you're probably one of them. You attend their caucus meetings and you know where you plan all of those things you plan. You would know what everybody else know. You say they know. You are putting it to them that they know. It means you too, you probably, have been in some areas with the different people that you're mentioning that they know. Anyways, thank you so much for your call.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for your calls and text messages. This is a birthday celebration. Happy birthday to my friend, Amaka. Today you turn 30. Wow. The purple woman. Happy birthday. Thank you so much for being amazing. I love you so much. And I wish you all of God's best and his blessings. Stay healthy, stay growing, and remain your best. From Today 95.1 FM and from Queen Chima. Happy birthday. All right, my name is Queen Chima. Thank you so much for tuning in to Talk.
On this day in history. On this day in history. On this day in history.
Today in history, 4th November. In 1890, the city's first electric underground railway, the City and South London Railway. In 1922, British archaeologist Howard Carter discovered the entrance to the tomb of Pharaoh Tutankhamun in the Valley of the Kings, Egypt. In 1946, UNESCO was officially established as its constitution entered into force. This specialized promotion of international collaboration